So there's this guy, this dude right here, claims to own a company where he will hire people and pay people to protest for you. You being Elon Musk. Like Elon Musk would come around and pay protesters. It's actually not true at all. It is this guy trying to establish the idea that the left pays protesters. And he, everybody knows he's right wing. He has a right wing footprint. So he is making himself a target, making himself, the clown, and saying, yeah, I run this company where I hire people to protest. And he comes on these shows, One American News Network, Newsmax, and he just like gets beaten up by the hosts, and that's his whole bit.
And bring in someone who knows a little bit about this subject. Let's welcome in now the CEO and founder of Crowds on Demand, the largest orchestrator of paid protests in the country. His name is Adam Swart. Adam, first of all, welcome to the briefing.
Ed, thanks so much for having me on.
Okay, I feel like is he like one of those lizard people that's like crammed himself into human skin? You guys ever seen Men in Black? You know that one character that wanted sugar or something? Remember him? What was his name? Sugar character, Men in Black. Oh, God, I can't play it without getting hit with copyright, right?
Edgar, what on earth was that?
Oh, Edgar is his name.
Sugar.
I've never seen Sugar do that.
Give me sugar.
I feel like he's just an alien that is wearing this dude's skin like a suit.
In water.
Hang on, let me just. Okay, they're not going to show him coming out of his skin. I was hoping they'd show that, but anyway, that's what this guy reminds me of.
Who do you think is behind? Let's start with the Tesla protests. Are they really protests? Are they orchestrated? Elon's asking the question, who's funding all this?
Who is funding people protesting Elon Musk going in and violating the Constitution and like going in with guns, with sheriffs, and forcing people to leave at gunpoint and plugging computers into the system and downloading like people's social security information? And yeah, who's protesting it? Who is paying people to protest that? Nobody in their right mind could protest that, right?
I think you first have to follow the money.
What fucking money?
And if you think about it, there have been many, many attempts by short sellers, that's people who make money when the stock goes down, to try to take down Elon Musk. Now they see an opportunity.
Okay, all right. So let's just kind of analyze this situation for a second and like really think it through. This guy says people are betting on stock to go down, on Tesla stock to go down, right? So they get somebody to loan them a share of Tesla. They sell the share. And then in a year, when you're supposed to pay the share back, you buy the share back at market price and you give it back to the person. The assumption is if the share dropped by enough, then you're going to earn the difference between what you sold it at just now from what you bought it at a year ago. That's short selling. And people can make like a lot of money doing this, or they can lose a lot of money doing this. But think about what it would take to organize a protest like what happened. The hands-off protests, I believe, was one of the biggest ones. Okay, it looks like 3 to 5 million people participated in the hands-off protests across the U.S., is what I'm seeing. Let's take the low number of 3 million people, okay? And these people that we're watching right now, they have claimed in the past, Trump supporters have claimed George Soros is paying people basically $2,000 per day to protest. So $2,000 times 3 million people times 2 different protests, 2 days, right? How much money is that? That's is that $12 billion? I think that's $12 billion. You think that somebody could spend $12 billion? Who has that much money? George Soros, your big boogeyman, is only worth like $4 billion. Trump is only worth like $4 billion. The only people that could afford something like that are Elon Musk, or Jeff Bezos or something, and it would be noticed. If people were being paid to protest, there would be contracts all over the place that showed up, that people would be posting all over the internet, offers that were made to them by right-wingers when they aren't right-wingers. So they're revealing this stuff. It would be everywhere, impossible to miss. Instead, we have some random dude claiming to be a part of some random industry that there's no evidence even exists. I'll tell you what the right does. They don't hire protesters to go out there and protest. You know what they do? Specifically Christian nationalists. They will hire 15 people. They don't even need to hire them. They'll get this little group of people together, 15, 20, 30, 50 people, and they will go to every school board across the country that they can get to within a very short span of time and pretend to be parents there. Just a few people. And they'll start screaming that their children are being transed and that there are litter boxes in the classroom. They'll go to the next one and they'll do it again. And the money isn't going to paying individuals to be out in the street on the right. The money is going toward funding political campaigns oppositional to your enemies, basically. It's going toward making a lot of really loud noise with a very small group of people to make it seem like there's more support than it actually has. These people just cannot deal with the fact that they're unpopular. Elon Musk specifically and Donald Trump. They cannot deal with the fact that they're unpopular. You're just not liked. If you want to be liked, then do things that are likable. Not important, but Newsmax sells a singing fish of Donald Trump called Trumpy Trout. The contempt Republicans have for their own voters astounds me. Oh my God, Trumpy Trout? Oh my God, dude, it's so stupid. Oh my God, no. No. This has got to be a joke, right?
A message.
I don't think this is a joke. I think this is 100% real. Please don't give me a copyright strike.
A message from the 45th President of the United Ponds of America.
The United Ponds of America, zing.
Let's make fishing great again, okay?
He's here, everyone's favorite fish, Trumpy Trout.
No one has ever seen a fish like me.
Trumpy Trout is an animatronic talking fish with a big personality.
I am the hugely bigliest fish in the pond.
Watch his fins flap and his large mouth move as he makes speech after speech in high-fidelity sounds.
A high-fidelity sound. It is so fucking stupid. This is embarrassing. I don't understand how people can go out there with a straight face and advertise this or promote this or even buy this. It is an embarrassment. I would think that people would want to downplay how fucking stupid Donald Trump is. The shit that this trout is saying is really, really stupid.
Hugely bigliest fish in the pond.
Why are they calling attention to that? I would be embarrassed by it.
Fidelity sounds.
Some bass are bad fish, crazy fish, criminal fish, and druggy fish. But some bass are good fish, and I only love some of them.
Mounted
So the point is that it's just speaking complete nonsense. That is insane.
to your wall or use the built-in stand to display him proudly on your desk. Now you'll never miss a Trumpy Trout rally.
I'm building a new pond, and the bass will pay for it.
Set him to motion activated to surprise his fans. Fans.
My fins are big. I have the biggest fins. No fish have fins like me.
Or turn him on and let his inspiring words delight the crowd.
Inspiring words? Are you kidding me right now?
All the fish love Trumpy. They just love me.
Catch Trumpy Trout for yourself or someone you love.
Oh, they can try, but they can't. They just can't.
Treat yourself to this limited edition Trumpy Trout for just $59.99. It comes with your official Make Fishing Great Again certificate of authenticity. Order right now and we'll instantly upgrade you to the deluxe version with desktop stand and Trumpy Trout jingle free.
Oh my god, dude. A desktop stand? Are you serious?
The greatest trout without a doubt, the biggest fish.
Anyway, wow. I did not know that existed. Thank you for letting me know.
People have lost billions and billions betting against Elon Musk over the past 10 plus years.
All right, so he's saying people are betting that Elon Musk is going to fail and he's not failing. So they're paying $12 billion to protesters to try to make Tesla stock go down. Short selling works on pretty specific timeframes, to my understanding. It has to be like within a year. So you're telling me that they're trying to decrease Tesla stock so that they can pay back less money when the year mark comes around. Is that what you're telling me? Are they going to make $12 billion off of it? Off of short selling? I doubt it. You're trying to tell me that they sunk $12 billion in? You'd have to sink a lot more than that in to make those $12 billion back. It's absurd at its face.
That he has led Tesla. They see an opportunity now with Musk's involvement with the Trump administration to finally deal a deadly blow to Tesla through boycotts and now through political violence.
Who the f*** is they? Who are you talking about? Are they in the room with us right now? Point them out. He thinks that some ambiguous, secretive they is in the background trying to make Elon Musk failed. What? Because they don't like him? Why? What would the point be? Like, if Tesla's going to succeed, invest in it. If it's not going to succeed or you don't like it, don't invest in it. See how simple that is? You don't have to pay $12 billion to pay protesters and then even more money to cover that fact up, to hide it from everybody.
To Tesla through boycotts and now through political violence, potentially an intimidation. And I suspect if you follow the money, a lot of the organization is coming from people with money on the line.
My God.
In regards to Tesla.
So he thinks that people are betting for Tesla to fail, and they're paying protesters to make it fail now. Are you kidding me with this? There are way easier ways to make a shitload of money with $12 billion. You can multiply $12 billion a lot easier than giving it to protesters. These people are just shamelessly full of shit. Here's another appearance. We're going to go back to that one because there's more on that. Here's another appearance. This one is on Newsmax, I believe. Or no, this one is on One America News. The previous one that we're going to come back to, that's on Newsmax. Listen to this One America News one.
I don't know how you sleep at night. I would not do your job. I do not like it. So people can literally call your company and get a bunch of paid actors, if you will, to stand up there, hold signs, and scream on the street corner because that's what your company does.
No.
Number one, it's not actors. We're providing activists who are truly engaged with the cause, right?
But are they? I just showed you a video of a guy going, I don't even know why I'm here. They got signs and they got sheets and they said, go say this and talk to cameras and hold signs.
It's complete bullshit. There's famously, let me try to think about how to phrase this. Back in 1902's an old document, the Protocols of the Elders of Zion, that was like this anti-Semitic document. It claimed to be like minutes from meetings of like Jewish leaders and their plan for world domination. It's fictitious. It was written by some random people, not Jewish people at all. But the claim was that it was found on a dead Jewish soldier. It was found on the ground or whatever. 100 years later, in 2016, there were protests against Donald Trump and a bunch of other stuff. And what did they claim? Specifically BLM protests and stuff. What did they claim? The right, I mean, Donald Trump and others, they claimed that George Soros was paying these people between $1,500 and $3,000, I think, per night. And the proof, they found this contract on some dude that was arrested. And there's even like, you can even look up a picture of this supposed contract that they found. It's just nonsense. It's all nonsense, all the way down. It's the same recycled propagandistic lies that they've been recycling since the 1900s, even earlier. Anyway, so this guy is just, I guess he's just trying to convince people of this fact and establish the fact or the fictitious belief that there are companies that will just pay you to protest. Give it a rest.
Challenging for them to get sufficient turnout to a lot of these events, compensating people, just like Dan, you're compensated for hosting your program. These are your real views on this program, but you're compensated.
I am, but I don't pay my viewers to watch me. So I love the fact that I can go on the street corner and say whatever the hell I want, a grievance against my government, or call my neighbor or whatever I want, because that's America. But I don't like that companies try to stage it all and hire people and set it up. It should be organic. The American people should want to come out, get on their soapbox, my show, I'm talking. They should come out.
What a fucking douchebag.
And want to gather together and say, here's the cause I'm sticking up for. But you see, guys like you and the bureaucrats and the folks in DC love stirring up the pot between us Americans. And so you pay people to do this and you make a scene look bigger than it really is. You make an issue bigger than it truly is. And so I don't like your business. I'm going to end it there, but I appreciate you coming back on.
Absolute nonsense. The bottom line is we see what billionaires spend their money on, like the Koch brothers and stuff, and it's not protests. They don't pay people to protest. It's nonsense. It would cost way too much money. They buy political campaigns and they organize small groups to go around the country to abortion clinics and stand outside and act like rabid dogs for like hours every day because they have nothing better to do. It's just a little group of like 50 people. A while back, under Biden, I believe, Merrick Garland wrote a letter, an open letter, I think, basically saying that they were going to start charging people with domestic terrorism if they kept showing up at these school board meetings and doing this, like acting, threatening people. They were waiting in the parking lot and at night and cornering the city council members, the school board members, and getting in their face and punching them and stuff like that. And he said they were going to file domestic terrorism charges if they didn't stop it. And it stopped like that because it was like 10 people that were going around to like every school board meeting, every city council meeting that they could possibly get to. They spend like a month hitting these one after another after another. We don't need, like, if you see a large group of people, like tens of thousands, they're not being paid to be there. Let's continue with this dude on this this one channel here with this dude.
An opportunity now with Musk's involvement with the Trump administration to finally deal a deadly blow to Tesla through boycotts and now through political violence, potentially an intimidation. And I suspect if you follow the money, a lot of the organization is coming from people with money on the line in regards to Tesla.
$12 billion of money completely unaccounted for like that. Like, there's no sign whatsoever that anybody has been paid in protests. Not a single person comes out of the woodwork and shows these papers, like these contracts, or more specifically, not more than a single person. There isn't more than one example of a contract out of the millions of people supposedly paid by George Soros or whoever to protest. Give it a rest. Like, nobody wants stocks to go down except for short sellers, I guess. And I believe that short selling is illegal. I could be wrong. It's definitely frowned upon. I think hedge funds do it.
Interesting. Hadn't thought of that angle. So you're suggesting the short sellers of people who don't follow Wall Street closely, who are betting that Tesla stock would go down. In recent years, it's gone way up, and those short sellers have lost a lot of money. Now the stock has been coming down amid the protests and other things, and maybe they're recouping some of their losses. Interesting, but let's connect it to
they're recouping some of their losses by paying $12 billion to protesters and finding some way to hide it from public view completely. Totally.
the politics, because this person on X was saying, number one, that it's going on in congressional districts that are contested. And number two, in that same thread on X, they put up a picture of your profile saying, ask this guy if he's involved. So given your organization's work, you say that you put together protests and whatnot. What do you know? What are you doing, if anything, on this?
So he's a right-wing supposed organizer of protests. Again, the right is not organizing protests like that. They hire like 50 people at most to go around and make a big, make loud noise.
We're not involved in this matter. First of all, our organization only undertakes legal protests.
Okay.
So anything that would involve any sort of law breaking, and particularly any sort of violence, would in no way be something that we condone or do. It's honestly a sad fact that the modern left is not about ideas or tolerance.
Give it a fucking break. Are you kidding me right now? Really? You think the left isn't about tolerance or ideas? You know, there used to be some like degree of legitimacy, some grain of truth in there somewhere. I mean, not really, but you know, people believed it. There isn't even a grain of truth in this anymore. The right has gone full fascist. Full fascist. And I appreciate that the rest of the world sees what's happening too. That we're not alone in all of this. And, you know, Australia, for example, recognizes the fact that there is a full fascist takeover in the US.
It's just hostility, it's intimidation, it's political violence. These are tantrums by people who can't get their way by persuasion. They're using violence. And unfortunately, this is a case of what's called stochastic terrorism.
That this is not an example of stochastic terrorism. Before he poisons a well with whatever the nonsense he's going to lay down. A good example of stochastic terrorism is Glenn Beck talking about the Tides Foundation. You probably haven't heard of them. I hadn't heard of them. But Glenn Beck used to be the Tucker Carlson of Fox News. Before Tucker Carlson, it was Bill O'Reilly, it was Glenn Beck, Megyn Kelly. They all had their moment at slot number 1, basically. And Glenn Beck decided to go out on air once and make up a bunch of shit about the Tides Foundation. It's just some random organization that basically connects wealthy philanthropists with worthy causes. You know, you can't, like, if you have like $1 million you want to donate to something or somebody, you don't just go spend it on whatever. You need to do research. You need to make sure that this organization is legitimate, that they've been running for a while. You need to research them and make sure that there isn't like some impropriety that's happened in the past, that they're not going to misuse your money. Look into their tax filings, because nonprofits still have to file taxes, so they don't pay taxes. They file their returns so that people can look at them publicly and see where their money went. So this organization, the Tides Foundation, does all of this research and lists these organizations that are worthy causes and trustworthy organizations to donate to. So they connect philanthropists who want to donate money to the organizations that need it. And Glenn Beck claimed all kinds of wild about them, like being involved in some kind of scheme with Obama or some other insane, just off the wall, zero evidence. You know how Fox News does. And he demonized them to such a degree that one day the police pull this guy over, car full of weapons, and he tells the cops he's on his way to do like a mass attack on the Tides Foundation building. Stochastic terrorism is the idea that if you demonize somebody or something enough, out of an audience of 100,000 people even, if 0.5% of your audience is insane enough to do something like that, like attack a building or try to assassinate somebody, if 0.5% is that crazy, and 1% of that group has the means to do so, they have the weapon or whatever on hand and the opportunity, statistically, you're likely going to get a terrorist attack on somebody. Trump demonizes Hillary Clinton enough, statistically, it's likely she's going to get some assassination attempts. So this guy is claiming the left uses stochastic terrorism to, like, attack people or whatever. Stochastic terrorism is the intentional, targeted, rhetorical attack of somebody with the intent to destroy them and the terrorist acts that result from it. So I guess I can't have standards anymore and not want to buy from Tesla, right? Or I'm a stochastic terrorist.
Yeah.
A case of what's called stochastic terrorism. That is to say that the people at the top are stoking the flames against Musk, and then the foot soldiers are actually starting the fires, and in this case, literally.
Absolute nonsense. He has no idea what that word means or how it's actually used or that term, but it doesn't even matter. He's a propagandist for the right. Absolutely disgusting, man. Anyway, tell me what you think about it in the comments. I can't believe that they actually got somebody to go out here and say all this.